Everybody, it's Sandy and welcome back to my channel dedicated to helping you advocate for your own health one topic at a time. So guys, today is kind of a part 2 video and I'm talking about Sonovia. Yeah, so some of you probably already know that last week I put up a video it was just too long and I took it down in short order, and I decided that since it was really two topics, both pertaining to Sonovia, I felt like each one really deserved its own video. So I have since put up the first part, so I'll call that part 1. That was a full review of their new sheets, their linen line. I'm going to link that video here. I really recommend that you check that out. The spoiler alert is that I do love their linen line. And yes, they gifted me the set that I used for the review, but I have since purchased some of my own items, including some extra pillowcases and a duvet cover. So yeah, I recommend you check that video out. But in the meantime, I said that I would address really two issues, question and feedback, that has come up in the Sandy's DIY Health Advocacy Facebook groups page about the Sonovia products. So bear with me, you will see me kind of splice in and splice out here, as I'd already recorded some of this information before. But the two issues are, number one, people have said, where is the scientific data? They claim that their nanozinc technology, which is a proprietary technology, will deactivate virus and kill bacteria upwards of over 99% of the microbial load in less than 30 minutes. And I've done other videos about this product. I personally feel like I have done a great deal of due diligence into this company, and I do trust the products. But I will say there's some great data, and like Sonovia, I don't know why you're hiding it. Let's take a look right now at the scientific data and where it hides on the website. Criticism I hear levied is that all people see are press releases and they don't see where the data came from or any of the scientific testing. And I will say that while I think that the scientific testing should maybe be in a more obvious place on the Sonovia Tech site, it is there and it is embedded in links that you can click on, and I'm going to show you that with a screen record where I went through it and I showed you where to go find all the scientific data. I do trust this company. In order for them to be forwarding false claims about this would just take a conspiracy of many people, and I just generally don't do conspiracy theories. I'm not saying that's what people who levy the criticism are discussing. I think rather they haven't seen the scientific data, so I'm hoping that I'm clearing that up for you with the screen record and showing you where to click and what you can look at. Okay, so I'm here on the SonoviaStore.com, and actually if you just Google Sonovia Store, Sonovia Shop, you should see this. I'm going to just scroll down here. They're advertising their Black Friday. They're 30% off everything. Use that code MAX discount, and it ends November 28th. I think it's at the end of the day, so it's through November 28th through the end of the day. So I'm just going to scroll down here to where you see some of the products, and you see here some claims under proven effective by world accredited labs. You see these different claims that just look like kind of headlines, but there's icons right here, and if you click on this specific icon, like let's look at this one that says 99.97% effective against COVID-19, and if you click on that, you'll see what pops up is the documents that you can see, the labs, the testing dates. Here's, all the contact information for the lab that they used at that time. I'm going to click out of that one and just go to this one. Neutralizes 99.9% of bacterias. Same thing. So you see what test they did, how they did it. They'll tell you like the fabric was inoculated with this or that. Same thing here, same thing here. And then of course you get down here where you can see shop and some other things about their products. So I just wanted to show this really quickly for people who were concerned about that they'd only kind of seen press releases and hadn't seen any scientific data like companies tend to put on their website. And I would agree that it's probably sort of buried in here and maybe should be on the Sonovia Tech site as well, and maybe it is and I just haven't found it, but I found it here in the Sonovia shop. So I hope that's helpful. I have communicated with their chief science officer at times when I had questions that needed to get resolved. I always got answers with scientific citations attached, and I also really respect and revere this particular technology just because it is clean and sustainable. And yeah, so I hope that relieves any of the concerns anybody had about the science. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. If anybody has any questions about that, please go ahead and put them down in the comment section. You could also go to the Sandy's DIY Health Advocacy Facebook groups page. I know some of the people at Sonovia sometimes are over there, so hopefully they can answer any questions that you might have. I'll certainly do my best to do so as well. The other issue that came up is that there was some concerns about the customer service. I'm going to splice in and out again so you can hear what I said, but since the first video, which was long, went up already, that already got some feedback that I'm going to address afterwards. Yeah, so here's what I said in the first recording. The second issue, which is the customer service, is of course a little more difficult for me to gauge because of course I'm not going to have customer service issues with Sonovia. I get that. I do think that a company should stand by its product, and if there's something irregular about it, they should be willing to right that issue. Now, I think in the early days, there weren't clear policies on the website regarding returns. I think they now have that clearly articulated in the website. Of course, things that are of such personal use or where there are hygienic issues, they're not going to take back for returns, just like say you changed your mind or you don't like it. That's just not what these products are, masks and even bed linens and things like that. But of course, there should be a remedy if there is something wrong. I did see one conversation in the Facebook group lately that got a lot of traction that I just personally didn't feel like it reflected on Sonovia's customer service. So that was one of the masks. Somebody had gotten the masks and they had it for a while, whether they wore it a lot or not. And as most of you know, the masks have those bead adjusters on the ear loops so that you can adjust the size. And at some point, those bead adjusters, they do often crack and break. I think the remedy that the person was asking for was a replacement of the mask or a replacement of beads. And really on either of those issues, I was trying to think of something that I could compare it to in the world of things we're more familiar with than masks, and try to make a comparison. And what I came up with is shoes. So if you buy a pair of shoes and after some period of time the shoelaces break, you don't get a new pair of shoes, and you don't even get a new pair of shoelaces for free. That's just considered a maintenance issue with the shoe. And nowadays there are those bead adjusters for masks. There's all different kinds of them available, like super cheap on Amazon. I really couldn't expect a company to send like 2 bead adjusters overseas. I just felt like that was asking a lot. Somebody correct me if you think I'm wrong. Me personally, I don't usually like the adjusters that come with the masks anyway. I like the soft jelly kind, so I would just prefer to get some on Amazon. I'll try to find something and link it down below in the description box. One thing that some of my viewers pointed out in the Facebook group page after I had put that video up, and it was only up for like less than 24 hours, is that people said, when it comes to bead adjusters, I mean, that's true, they're cheap and whatever, but people felt that the adjusters on the Sonovia masks were particularly cheap. They weren't like the normal, like some bead adjusters break. Okay, hard plastic ones tend to break more easily, but people felt like it was kind of an oxymoron, that it really didn't make a lot of sense to have this really expensive mask and then put the very cheapest ear loop adjusters on that they could find. And I gave it some thought, and again, I haven't had this issue, but I tend to not like plastic ear adjusters anyway, and so I like jelly, the soft jelly ones, and I've said that before when I've reviewed various products. But I think that's true. I mean, point taken. So I just wanted to put it out there. And, hopefully maybe Sonovia will even answer some of the questions over there in the Facebook group that's come up. Maybe they'll have an opportunity to address that. Maybe they won't. I will still put a link below down in the description box of probably a couple of links to Amazon where you can find some very cheap adjusters. Like I said, the kind I like are the sort of jelly, something soft that I can squeeze easily, not the hard plastic. So I'll put some links to those below. I did say that I would get this point out there. And I think that what I'm hearing from people in the Facebook group, and somebody correct me if I'm hearing wrong, is that there's some inconsistency there. So I hear people say that they had great customer service with Sonovia, that they bought something and there was an issue and Sonovia was very quick about it and replaced everything. And there's other people who say that they sort of hit a wall when they have contacted Sonovia. So I'm hoping that maybe in time there can be a little more consistency there. I hope that will get better. I'm not the arbiter of every dispute. I'm sure there are complaints that people make that are frivolous, and I'm sure that there are some issues that don't get addressed as expediently as they should. So I just committed to put it out there so that hopefully that can get addressed one way or another. And in the meantime, I'm going to double down on the products, which I really do like. I think they've got something very unique going. I think that this product that they have is going to have many more applications going forward. I did give a sneak peek in my previous video when I reviewed the sheets on a seat cover that's used for public transportation, and I'm going to do a full review on that when I travel. That's going to be in March. I'm going to be traveling in March. And I even mentioned I could see an application for like diaper bags and baby changing pads, and probably the sky's the limit. I really do like the products. Anyway, I hope this was helpful in terms of trying to clear up A, how and where to find the data on the testing from independent laboratories, and B, your concerns about some customer service issues, which I hope will improve. So I'm going to take a little time off because we've got the Thanksgiving holiday coming up here. So I'm not going to put another video up, I think not until after Thanksgiving. So I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and let me know if this was helpful. And until next time, be well. Bye-bye.